Good morning, StoryTrading VIPs. It's Friday, June 9th. And today, Friday, June 9th, we're going to have Rex trades at 12 p.m. And Rex trades, if you were there last week, you would know about air exploding. You would know about Carvana exploding. I mean, we covered story trading stocks and really, really good analysis. So we'll see you today, 12 p.m. Rex trades. Now, lots of stocks to cover. I must feel like the macro is irrelevant. You know, there used to be a time when we didn't even look at the indices. When markets were so stable, we came on here and we didn't even look at them. And that's the environment we want to be in. All right. I'm not sure we're there permanently at this point, but just reviewing over here, looking at these major indices, the thesis over the past week has played out really well. It was that we're going to see a rotation out of mega caps and into risk. So you can see SPY basically flat for the week. You can see QQQ actually still down for the week. And then you can see ARKK up sharply for the week. That was a thesis we had coming in, and it's been spot on all week long. And I look forward to hopefully at some point, I don't know that this is the point now, but at some point we can have several year run of just looking at our stock list and not even worrying about what the major indices are doing. That's the environment we thrive in when individual stocks can move on individual catalysts. So let's start with Tesla. Tesla had this big news last night with GM. So it started with that Ford news, and the thing was just running since the Ford news of having this universal charging standard for EVs and the ability for GM owners to use a Tesla charging station. Now, this is a great demonstration of why sentiment matters, because I can guarantee you that the economic benefit, the pure economic benefit, however you want to calculate it, of folks using Tesla charging stations, I forgot when the Ford news came out, it was probably somewhere around here, but it's not worth $50 times 3 billion. It's not worth $150 billion because people are using their charging stations. What this move is about, it's all about sentiment, okay? It's a sentiment of the obvious one, like, oh, Tesla's winning, right? So they're making deals with Tesla. But it's beyond that. It's the fact that Tesla's beyond just a car company. And when you invest in Tesla, you're investing in the future intangibles that cannot be calculated on a spreadsheet. That's the real story behind Tesla. And that's really the real story of how the market works, right? Like really pushing back against pure fundamental investors who don't understand how the markets work. Investing is about imagining what the future looks like on things that are not on a spreadsheet. That's real investing, if you ask me, especially if you're a long-term investor. That's what it's about. It's saying, I'm investing in a person, I'm investing in a brand, and I believe this person and brand will generate value beyond anything you can even imagine. We don't know what kind of products or services Tesla will come up with over the next 5 or 10 years. And the fact that, oh, now they're in the EV charging business, not just making cars, that's just further validation. Now that, you know, they have energy business, they have batteries, whatever it is, but we're investing in a man. That's what Tesla's about, and the brand. So that's where you get the sentiment premium. That's why you're getting these moves up. Now, as far as technicals go, the next major resistance, now it doesn't mean it can't pull back. It's been up dramatically here. Right? It doesn't mean we go straight to the next resistance, but let me just tell you what the next resistance is. If you go to the 1-year chart, I really don't see anything except this gap. See this gap? This gap. So the low of that gap is 262.47. The high the next day, 257.50. So right in there, 257 to 262. I'd be surprised if it doesn't reach that. Now, I'm not saying it gets there from 249. You may buy 249 and maybe the thing goes to 240 before it goes to those targets I gave you. Okay. But those, I'd be very surprised if we don't test or get into that gap at some point in this next period, whatever that period is, in a matter of hours, days, weeks, months, but it's getting there into that gap. That's my prediction. Of course, we can always be wrong. So that's why you diversify and you take risk management steps in case we're wrong. AIR, guys, AIR. Oh, did it do it? Is that a new all-time high? There it is. New all-time high. Finally, I acted on something decisively this morning. 4170. See that? 4170. We took that ask out right in the morning. 4170. AIR comes out with 13.7 million follow-on orders. Okay. Now, last week they had the new customer. Now, I'll tell you, 13.7 is a big number. And in this environment, like people see that headline, they're going to jump and buy, right? But It's not as important as last week's press release when it was a new customer. This is not a new customer. It's an existing customer. However, we look at stocks holistically. And there's many concepts when you do that. First of all, is stacked catalysts. When you have multiple catalysts in rapid succession after each other, it's like 1 + 1 = 3, not 1 + 1 = 2. So you gotta consider that in terms of the psychological impact and the sentiment on the stock. So that's how I knew, okay, we're immediately going up. Now, why did I think when I got this that we're going to see all new all-time highs and potentially a short squeeze much higher than this? Well, because we have other items here. We have the sentiment tailwind now of Tesla and EV, right? This EV standard that's developing, it just brings EV into much further light that, wow, this really is the future and it's happening fast, right? When Ford and GM, they're all getting together and they're talking about this EV standard, it improves the sentiment behind the sector AIR's in and the TAM that AIR has, because obviously it's for EV vehicles. You got to get their technology to build the silicon carbide chips for the EV vehicles. So that's the sentiment for you. You have the and then let's talk about the technicals and the short squeeze potential. 18% short. Now we'll talk about Carvana in a second, but because of ARKK going over the 50-week moving average, because of Carvana going over the 50-week moving average, right? Or is it the 50-day, whatever, a key moving average, we'll look at it in a second. You're going to see many other squeezes happening because of FOMO. I want to be in the next Carvana. Let's look for highly shorted stocks. That's why Beyond, we got into Beyond yesterday for that reason. That's why we have HIMS and DermTech on the list. But AIR is great too. We have like multiple pillars stacked for AIR today. Right? We have the Carvana effect. We have the Tesla effect. We have specific news this morning. I mean, it's stars aligned for AIR right now. And last week when we were on the Rex show, we were talking about $5. We'll see. We'll talk to Rex at 12 p.m. to see how fast that can happen. But for me, my target when I got it at 41.70 this morning is 45 to 50 for today. 45 to 50 today. Okay. And we'll see what happens after that. But that's a cup breakout right there that's happening. And it's going to be fun. Okay. Moving along. ACHR. ACHR. Stars are aligned for ACHR as well. But the technicals maybe not as great. 9.48% short. That's fun. So the ACHR has been on our list. This is also an EV plane company. The two that's been on our radar is ACHR and Lilium. Okay. Lilium. Remember that one? That one exploded earlier this year. But in any case, ACHR is the fundamentally superior company, Lilium, because of the relationship with Stellantis, and Stellantis is funding them. Now, they came out with news this morning that Stellantis and Archer host European debut of Midnight. Okay. Basically, there's an air show, Paris Air Show 2023, and they are unveiling their eVTOL aircraft called Midnight. And this aircraft is going to be the centerpiece of the show. Okay, there's, I guess, a picture of it right there. All right. So this electric vehicle aircraft is going to be the centerpiece of the show. So it all sounds very exciting. And it is exciting. And at the same time, Canaccord Genuity came out with a $9 price target, initiates coverage today with a $9 price target. Now, you know what's interesting? They also initiated coverage on their peer, Lilium, Lilm, which I just told you about. But guess what the price target they put on Lilium was? $1.20 instead of $1.08. So that's very interesting. Canaccord coming out and saying, hey, here's two eVTOL plays, but Lilium is basically priced where it should be, but ACHR should be 3 times higher than where it should be on the same day that they come out and they say, we're going to be the centerpiece at this Paris Air Show. And not just the centerpiece, but they talk about the timing. What's it? 2023, 2025. Here it is. For planned commercialization, right? To share progress. This is important. To share progress towards scaling manufacturing as they prepare for planned commercialization in 2025. Very, very good news. All right. So I jumped on that one this morning. Now, 339 is your resistance. That'll be a cup, kind of like in the 3-month chart. You can see there, like that'll be a formation of a cup there, 339. I think there's a good chance that can be tested this morning, but the technical is not as clear as some of the other ones we looked at this morning, whether it's Tesla or AIR. There's a lot of congestion up here after 339. So I don't have a clear signal on what can happen after 339. Okay, like to really clear all this, like, I don't know, you got to get above 5 or something. Yeah, 5. And it's just not as a good of a chart in case it breaks 339, but I really, really like the news. And I'd be curious to see what happens if it breaks 339. So that's on our radar as well. Palantir, relative strength this morning. Just bring that up because relative strength, one of the key things I noted in pre-market was that it was above yesterday's high. Now it's back below yesterday's high, isn't it? Yesterday's high was 1559, so it is back below. Okay, so we'll have to see. 1559 is a key level for today. If it can break and hold 1559, I think we're probably heading back towards 16 on Palantir. So let's follow that and see what happens there today. Oh, rum and DWAC. So, I never play DWAC because I don't believe in the fundamentals there. But there's an opportunity, I believe, here for rum. Trump was indicted last night. Well, he will be technically indicted on Tuesday, but it was announced. He announced it yesterday. So this is a second indictment. On the first indictment, both rum and DWAC ran. It wasn't just, everyone talks about DWAC when this happens. And if you look at the newsfeed, it's all about DWAC, right? It could have a sentiment move. I went back and I looked at the chart. Here, let's go see. It was right around here. You see this move right there? Okay, March 31st and April 3rd, right there. This was the last time, the first time Trump was indicted. So DWAC went from $13 to $16 in 2 days. All right. I'm not playing DWAC because of the fundamentals. But then if you look at rum during that same period, I think it was these two candles. What did I say? March 31st. It also went. Oh man, let's go to. No, hold on. Now I got to double check. Hold on. I did this last night and I found it. Okay, it was March 30th. So it was March 31st and April 3rd. March 31st and April 3rd. So if you go back and look at rum, March 31st and April 3rd. Oh, I could be wrong. It did have a spike. Okay, so it had a spike, but not as big as I thought. So closed at 9:34 the day before the news, and then it peaked at 10:39. About $1. I did. So it had about $1 spike the next day. Okay, it had about $1 spike rum. So I do like the fundamentals better on rum. So that's a possible play for today that we could see a early morning spike. Now, last time was a 2-day spike on DWAC and rum, or at least 2 days on DWAC, and rum hit that peak at $1 up twice, 2 days in a row, hit that peak at $1 up. Rum, so I'm not. Will it be 1 day? Will it be half a day? It should be at least a few hours, I think, right? And rum, by the way, benefits from this fundamentally. Like anytime there's bad news about Trump or whatever, there's more traffic going to all the content Rumble. So that's an idea for you for today. Now, Carvana, man, we gave this to you yesterday. We told you at $20, the resistance and the breakout level. And look how beautiful we're right about the $20. You see it got resisted at 20, and then when it broke, it just exploded. That's what a resistance and breakout level looks like perfectly. And what else did we tell you yesterday? Said if it breaks 20, the next resistance is 30 to 50. Crazy, right? Like, honestly, I almost can't believe it did it, even though I said it. Like, to me, that's close enough, right? 30 to 50, and you get to 25 in the same day. It's already an accurate call, whether it actually gets to 30, but it trended towards there. Now let's just review the chart again. There's just nothing up here. It's sky blue. Here's where the 20 was. The 20 resistance was right here on January 30th. So now you go back and look at the candles. There's just nothing. There's nothing until $30. $30 to the top of that candle, 58 actually. 30 to 58. I know it sounds insane, but this is the most highly shorted stock, 51%. And because it does sound insane, it's not something I would do with any kind of size, all right? But certainly possible. The more important takeaway for me on a move like this for Carvana, and we saw it before with GameStop, is when you have one stock that's the focus, that's just exploding like crazy, inevitably you start having sympathy moves because of FOMO. You're like, oh, I missed Carvana, what's next? Or maybe I didn't miss Carvana. Maybe I made so much money on Carvana. Now I want to make it again in another stock that is also highly shorted. So that's why we looked at BYND, and we entered BYND yesterday. BYND is right kind of a critical resistance level here. If it can open and stay above this 50-day moving average, then your next target for BYND would be about $15. BYND, you got to be a little careful because they have a shelf and they need to raise money. I wouldn't be surprised if they, hit that ATM or news of offering or something. It didn't happen yet today. That's good. But actually, it's good that it didn't happen last night or this morning, because maybe now it's safer to play BYND for a possible move to $15. But I'd be wary of that every day. Not a stock I'd like to hold overnight because of the potential they're going to do an offering. But at this point, look at that. This is your potential playground area between the 50 DMA and the 200 DMA on BYND. But again, not something I'd want to hold over the weekend. And we talked about the impact that can have on AIR, by the way, and AIR sitting pretty at all-time highs right now. And two other stocks I think could benefit from this dynamic is DermTech and HIMS. There's many, by the way. There's dozens and dozens of stocks that will do a beyond, all right, following Carvana. But these are ones we're familiar with, that I know the fundamentals, I know the story. So DermTech, I think it's a low-hanging fruit here, 10% short position, 320s, 310, 320, 50 DMAs, that target's almost there already on DermTech. And then HIMS, this one's going to require a little more patience. It's been consolidating for a while. It hasn't really made its move yet. MACD's about to flip, very highly shorted at, well, not very highly, but 12% shorted. And I just like the fundamentals here, former growth stock with ARKK moving. That's the other thing. ARKK's been up and this hasn't. That's going to change. All right, I'm waiting for the day that HIMS is going to pop 950, 1030. We'll see. Planted a seed there and just waiting for that to happen. And we're waiting for news on APRN. Hasn't happened yet. We had the reverse split, so we got killed on that for a couple days. But should be news out today, maybe after the close, or maybe right at 9:30 of the deal happening. They're going to pay off their debt. They're going to have 25 million cash. They're going to have a lighter business model in terms of profitability. So I'm still holding that one, even though I'm down on that. Sometimes you gotta. Sometimes you'll be wrong, by the way, obviously, and sometimes you just got to hold through the down period until you're right. So we'll see what happens. And then HTCR, QUIK, all these look good. Right? These are long-term. QUIK is a long-term holding. HTSR above the 20 DMA. QUIK had a great day yesterday. Look at that. We're waiting for the government to give them a $70 million contract. They said this summer, so it's June. That could happen any day. Maybe it already leaked. Maybe that's why we had the big news yesterday. VTSI been exploding, long-term holding for me. Eventually, this will be $10, $15, $20, but probably getting a little stretch in valuation right now. They got to execute some good quarters. Q2 will be a little light, I think. So opportunity there to maybe get a pullback after Q2. And then the second half of the year should be good. So in any case, let's bring on Vegas. And here we go. If I can find the intro for her. There it is.
Well, good morning, Ben. How are you?
Good morning. I love stocks. I really do. Especially when
I love options, especially when they go our way.
And especially when they react to news instantly. I just love it. It makes sense. That's the epitome of an efficient market is when a stock reacts to news instantly. I just love it. Okay, so tell me, what's on your mind?
Well, first of all, we know the news about Tesla, so that's a no-brainer. I mean, we've been talking about Tesla, and it's doing really well. Looking for some continuation today. With regards to targets on Tesla, today I could see this potentially going to 267.69. So, we're currently around 249.26. It has to break 250, as you know. So if it breaks 250, it should go to 255, and if that breaks, 267.69. So
very close.
Still be in for a monster of a move today. So even if no one's in Tesla, there's no need to have FOMO. You could still trade the Tesla's, stock. Once it breaks that 250, looks good. The other one that's looking really good, as you can see this morning, is Netflix. I've been talking about Netflix.
Oh, that's right. I saw that news.
But they've had a lot of upgrades too. As well. So Netflix looks fantastic. We saw so much money flow going through on Netflix lately. Sometimes people are not comfortable trading Netflix because it moves like it's very volatile how it trades. It pops and drops like $5 at a time. So that one looks really good today for a continuation.
Quick note on the news there. Netflix shares are trading higher following a report suggesting the company saw an increase in subscriptions following its password sharing crackdown. So that's the reason for this early morning spike.
Yeah, they've mentioned that already before. So I kind of feel like that news is kind of old. But you know what? The market seems to like that again. So I don't know. That's interesting. NVIDIA looks really good here. If it breaks 391, this is going to 410. So watch NVIDIA today. It looks like a really good setup if it breaks 391. Room for 410. So a nice $20 move potential. I mean, it sounds crazy what I'm saying, but it has that power.
Believe you. I totally believe you.
Yeah. So
NVIDIA, Tesla, Netflix. Yeah, I'm totally on board on all three of these. Okay.
Yeah. Yesterday we also had a breakout setting up here on Boeing. So Boeing here needs to break that 219. We should definitely get going. I think Boeing next week's definitely going to go towards 230. So Boeing is in play as well, and want to see this have a continuation. So definitely got to watch Boeing. Very powerful stock as well. And some strength today also in AMD. So
hold on before AMD.
Yeah.
Boeing, I do see it's broke the 200 DMA. So I do like the technical setup. It's been a long time since it broke, and that was a big thing. But yeah, I see it. I see what you're talking about technically. Do you know fundamentally what may be causing this big move? I mean, that was a big move yesterday. Any reports or catalysts out from 204 to 218 in 2 days, 3 days?
Yeah, there was some, some news that they doubled down on first class I forget what it was, first class arrival, something like that. But they had some news here on Boeing with regards to also they had some news about ultimatum on cyber gang. I don't know what that is all about. I have to go back and read it, but
okay. But yeah, that technical break looks pretty
moved.
significant. I agree with you.
Yeah. So it looks really good. I mean, look, Netflix, you could see volumes coming in. Boeing's got volume, Tesla's got volume, so it could be a pretty good day. But just remember next week we have FOMC, and so as a result, you might see lighter volume Monday and Tuesday, and that's normal because people want to hear confirmation about the rates. I believe the rates are not going to be increased this time, so we'll see what happens. I mean, I could be wrong, and they will raise rates, but for now, I believe they will not raise rates. So, we'll wait and see what happens. And the other thing too is there was some things on Boeing too. They're saying that AERO, AERO, jumps amid speculation that there's an activist that could be pushing for a Boeing deal. Now, Spirit, which is SPR, there was comments from the CEO last week at Boeing saying that an activist could call for a merger with regards to its relationship with Boeing, which accounts for 80% of SPR's business, according to the activist, that Insight, the report that traders were circulating last Wednesday. Obviously, Dave Calhoun, the CEO of Boeing, appeared nixed on the idea of the aircraft maker. So he said he's not going to sugarcoat things. It's been rough and tough discussing our relationship between myself and the company. But I believe the plan going forward is very constructive, where engineers work with engineers so that we get ahead of the manufacturing process that we've experienced on the 787s and on the MAX. And so we want to get that all solved. And it looks like they could have an activist could look for Spirit to sell non-core assets and get a replacement. Maybe they're going to replace the CEO, Tom Gentile. So we'll wait and see, but there could be a potential activist here that could push Boeing as well. So we'll see.
All right. Sounds good. Lots of great ideas today. Remember to take a good idea. And then we're going to be back here 12 p.m. with Rexman Trades. Vegas, you got to watch Rex. It's really good.
Yeah. What time does it come on? You said at 12. I missed his last show. So
Yeah. 12 p.m. today. It's like one of the best. I love it. It's just great content. All right.
Yeah. Okay. So stay tuned.
All right. We'll see you. Have a great day, everyone.
Yeah, for sure. You too. Bye.
Take care. Bye.